Episode 78 is here, guys, in hindsight. It is Monday. I don't even know what the date is. January 2nd. Yes, yesterday was New Year's. Hopefully you all have had a good New Year's, a New Year's Day. We know us as Steeler fans, we know we have had a good New Year's Day. And that's what I'm going to be on here completely talking about. I'm not going to be on here. I'm not recapping the game or anything like that. There's something certain that I want to talk about and come on here about. Now, I will be talking about things of the game, but I'm not going to sit here and go play by play, quarter by quarter, everything that ultimately really happened. But nonetheless, episode 78, and good to be back behind the mic. I appreciate all you guys who are tuning in and watching. For those who are new, welcome. We love to talk about sports on this channel. As for me, you know that I'm a Pittsburgh sports fan really all around, except for college basketball. I like Duke. But I like to put out a lot of different type of sports content other than just the Pittsburgh teams too. So if you guys are new here and you guys just want some good sports content, I love to really talk about a handful of things. But for this episode, we're going to be talking about the Sunday night football game last night. We're going to be talking about a couple things I want to talk about. Guys, hit the subscribe on the channel if you haven't. We're still growing this baby weekly the best we can. And that's all we can do. So your guys' support means a lot. I would love to eventually get my listeners and followers incorporated into the show. That will come with time. But nonetheless, let's get to it, guys. Let's get to it. As you see by the thumbnails, you see by the title, Kenny Pickett is here. He's arrived. And what we saw last night is something that your veteran quarterback, your franchise-type quarterback would do. We know that what happened last week against the Raiders, we know Kenny led another game-winning drive last week. He did it again this week. And what he has, man, he does not shy away from the moment. He doesn't shy away from adversity. He's, for being 24, being a rookie, the type of leadership that he has is off the charts. You can just see that. Body language, attitude, all those type of things. But with the Steelers season on the line, and such a key critical moment, 2 minutes and under, Kenny Pickett has to early on for his early career, the best drive of his career. I know he did this last week too, and it was a great drive as well. But this early on, man, is very impressive for somebody who is just in their first year. And in this type of moment, man, a division rivalry game against a team like the Ravens, who's already clinched the playoffs. You have the Steelers still fighting to stay alive for a playoff spot. And seeing that drive, what he did, was astounding. And I would be saying the same thing as well if I wasn't even a Steelers fan, and that's what I watched. There's so many things to be encouraged about, and Kenny has already shown he doesn't shy away from the moment. He's got the clutch gene. He's shown what he can do passing the ball. And as a Steeler fan, after last night's game, like, you should really be really thrilled, excited, right? Not even just for how this season's going to finish, but future, going in the future. There's a lot to be excited about. And what we were seeing last night from the game with it was 13-9 going into that moment. And throughout the game, the Steelers ran the ball great. They have been running the ball so well the last 6 games, 7 games. Najee Harris is the Najee Harris that we've known him as. And he's healthy. He's not in his head that we were seeing earlier on. He's not trying to create plays that aren't there. He's the running back that the Steelers drafted him to be. He's the running back we saw last year. He's the running back that we saw in college at Alabama. And it's so fun and encouraging to watch him run the ball the way he did. This was one of his best games as a Steeler, maybe his best game as a Steeler so far in his early career. Jaylen Warren had another great game as well. I mean, the speed he has, the quick to the hole that he has. And he's such a great offset to Najee. He's not the same running back. It gives you a change of pace. It's something that we all knew this team needed last year that they didn't have behind him, and they have it this year. And they're going to have it next year and hopefully beyond that. They both ran the ball great. They both averaged over 5 yards a carry. And they were a big part of the Steelers' drives. What was crazy to me, though, is like, look how good we're running the ball, but we only have 6 points or 9 points or whatever point in time it was. And we know that drives ended in field goals, and the Steelers' red zone issues has been a problem all year since day one. And we know that's something that has to get better, and that will get better, and the touchdowns will come eventually. But it's been a problem all year, and it's something that they got to figure out, that's got to be solved. And you know that it's something that they're going to try to work on this offseason, whatever direction they go with that, who knows. But still, they something with them is that they move the ball well up the field, but they just can't finish. And if they could finish, you'd be seeing them average over 20 points a game. So them running the ball the way they did was a very encouraging thing. And also, there was a controversial part in the Ravens game where Cam Hayward went for a tackle. It would have been a 4th down. The refs threw an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and it was really a soft call. It was Cam and 2 other Ravens. They were all mingled and in between each other trying to get up. The ref said that Cam pushed a little bit more after the whistle and stuff. That's why they threw it. It was a soft call. And it's calls like that dictate a game. Referees have too much power in their hands, too much control in their hands. You don't call that type of stuff. It's something if there's literally strong pushing and shoving or stuff's being thrown or whatever, that's a whole different story. But with this, he's literally trying to get up. He's literally being held, and it's just a collaborative mess. And that's something you just don't call, and it gave the Ravens an easy touchdown. But what I really want to say with this is that I've been saying all year, you need to give Kenny time. You need to have patience. And there's a lot of Steeler fans out there that were like that. And there's been a handful of Steeler fans that was already labeling him and saying he's this and that. Like how? Why would you even label a rookie quarterback like that early on? And now you're seeing what he's been doing this last month. You've seen what he's done the last 2 games. 100%, those people are backpedaling on their statements and stuff. That's why you don't come to judgment or determination on any. It's not even just for quarterback. You got to give guys time. Guys have to learn. Guys have to gel and mesh with their offense or defense, whatever position they're playing. It takes time when you have newness to your team. It takes time when you have new youth to your team. And Steeler fans, as spoiled as they are, like, it's just the new reality right now. And every team has to go through that. But sometimes teams can adapt quicker to it than others. You look at teams around the league that have been rebuilding for years and years and years, can never figure it out. And then you look at a team like the Steelers that have had a Hall of Fame quarterback for 18 years, that have always been a top tier type team more seasons than not. And you look at this year, okay, they're entering that stage again of having new youth and transitioning into a different era and stuff like that. And you got to give that time. But luckily with the Steelers, there's a reason why their organization's head above heels over many others, because they know how to run the organization, developing, drafting. Now, sure, has their drafting been great lately? No. But over time, they have more successful drafts than not. They develop guys. They have a knack for talent. They have some good scouting. They have, over the years, they've had a lot of good coaching over the years. And those things are such important things to organizations. And that's why they're ahead of everybody else. And that's why right now you look at a season like this where there were Nobody knew how the season was going to go. You had to kind of wait to see how it went. At least that was my perspective. And it went the way it did, where they were 2-6 or so, 3-6, whatever it was at the bye. And it was kind of looking like, okay, the season's over. And what I was saying was I just wanted them to have a strong second half and take that into next year. But they are sitting at playing for meaningful playoff games with the last 2 games of the season. So you tell me, all the people clamoring for tanking and a high draft pick and stuff, yeah, it was kind of maybe looking like a high draft pick during that time. But you still want your team to win. And you look at them now, where they are now is you look at multiple teams in the league that have been rebuilding and can never figure it out. They would crawl to have a record of 8 or 9 wins and have growth and improvement, and they haven't. A team like the Steelers this year, nope, like I said, nobody knew how they were going to be. They were 2-6, 3-6, whatever it was at the bye week, and everybody pretty much thought their season was over. And you look at their wins, you look at how much better they've played, you look at growth, you looked at improvement in multiple different areas, and here they are. So really, the Steelers' down year, the Steelers season that wasn't a typical Steelers type season, they're still finding themselves alive. They're still finding themselves fighting for a playoff spot, and that's remarkable. And really, any fan of almost any fan base would kill to have that, especially as if your favorite team is a team that doesn't rebuild, that has a knack for talent, that's always competitive, even in seasons that are uncertain or there's difference or newness, or it could be looking like a bad year, whatever it is, they still find their ways to be competitive, to still be alive. And it's awesome. And that's what makes me thankful and proud to be a Steeler fan. So you got to give credit across the board, really. All I wanted was for them to have a strong second half, and they've done more than that. Credit to Mike Tomlin. Has Mike Tomlin had his faults this year? Yeah, absolutely he has. But again, he always keeps his team prepared. He's a coach players want to play for. He's a winning coach. And even in hard times and adversity, he still keeps his team competitive and fighting, and you see where they are now. This is a great thing as well for the youth and the young players on this team. I understand where the fans come from in the sense of another 9-8 season, whether they make the playoffs or not, staying in the middle, having a middle of the pack draft pick. Look, I get it that's kind of been the MO the last few years and losing in the first round. But with this type of season where they started 2-6, 3-6, whatever it was, and they could finish 9-8 and find themselves in the playoffs, even if they don't make the playoffs and they find themselves with 8 or 9 wins, that's still something that you should want as a fan in terms of how they finish the year, taking that into next year, making the changes that still have to be made, and seeing your rookie quarterback and the youth on the team growing and be able to take that into the future. So it's more than just this season, and that's a great thing. So even if they don't make the playoffs, even if they lost last night, I have still been optimistic and excited about the future. And I still hope that they have an aggressive offseason, regardless how the season finishes, and they still make the changes that have to be made, and they still better themselves, because you still can't take away how they started, right? You obviously, as an organization, you want to win double-digit games. You want to be in there fighting and competing for the division. And if you look at 4 games on the schedule this year, if they won 1 or 2 of those, they would control their own destiny, or they would already have a playoff spot. So you look at things like that. But there's still things that got to be done in the offseason. But you just can't take away what they've done this second half and growth from the young guys and the better play, better defensive play, what Tomlin's done. You got to give credit where that's due. But with Kenny Pickett, he has arrived, folks. He has. He like I was saying earlier, he has intangibles you can't teach in terms of the competitive nature and the leadership, right? Not shaking in adversity, really taking it, owning it, taking it on. Um, being able to take the moment as it is. Those are things you can't teach for people. And as someone who's your quarterback, those are qualities and attributes you want. But what we've been seeing from him is he's taking steps each week. He's growing each week. And I've been saying that for the last month. But what we've been seeing now, the last 2 or 3 games, is even exceeding what we were seeing the first few games after the bye week. He's making the throws you want to see. He's winning games for the team. He's leading game-winning drives. He's making clutch throws. He's making throws across the middle of the field. He's getting the ball in his playmakers' hands. He has a lot better decision-making than what we knew that he was doing earlier on in the year, which is what you obviously want to see, learn in development and growing in those type of areas. But for me, I'm just seeing somebody that the game is slowing down for him. His knowledge, his recognition on things, recognizing from this play to this play and doing this instead, and you're seeing that across the board. What you want from your rookie quarterback is what he's doing. And some fans have had this mindset of they need to be Patrick Mahomes or they need to be Justin Herbert in the rookie year. How many rookie quarterbacks in the last 10 years have been like that? Let me know. Not many. You want your rookie quarterback to be set up for success, to be built in a good situation, which he wasn't when he came in. And you want your quarterback to develop weekly, which he has, to continue to make in terms of judgments, decision-making, clean games, not turning the ball over, clutch passes, making critical passes on third downs, getting the ball in playmakers' hands to make plays, right? Throwing in the middle of the field. He's doing all those things. And you have to be really excited and encouraged with, yes, what you've seen from him in this second half of the season. But heck, man, even also just what you've been seeing the last couple games. Now, Kenny Pickett was handcuffed last night. He was, like I said, they ran the ball great, and you don't want to get away from that. But you don't run the ball every time on second down and set yourself up for a long third down, a 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 10. You lose a loss of yards. You can't be doing run, pass. That's what we were seeing all game. To get away from running the ball because of how good they're doing it, but you got to throw it too. You got to keep the defense on the toes. And they weren't letting him do that. And I think a reason for that too is just because last time they played the Ravens and Mitch threw 3 interceptions, they didn't want that again. They played conservative throwing the ball and everything. But then once the matter came and they knew they were going to have to throw the ball, you look at what Kenny did. You look at what he did. You look what he was able to do. And as a fan, and for all of us fans, seeing what he's able to do in those type of moments, in those type of critical fourth quarter moments, in those clutch moments, and even just in those moments in general of getting the ball down the field, throwing the ball, he's doing that. But it's just a matter of how often is he able to do it? What's the Steelers' game plan? What's the playbook for the game, right? And last night, it was running the ball down the Ravens' throat, which they did. But again, you got to throw it. You can't keep the same type of play calling each and every down. You got to keep the defense guessing. You got to stretch the field a little bit. And really the only time they did that was at the end of the game. So really at the end of the day, Kenny Pickett was making big league throws that you want from your rookie quarterback and taking adversity in, right? being clutch, not shaking in the moment. And those are just things that should encourage all of us as fans. We've seen the throws that he can make, the throws we've wanted to see he's been making. He's got mobility. He's got all the other intangibles that you can't really teach a player. And he's doing that week at a time. And that should be an encouragement to all Steeler fans of seeing that right now, taking that even into next year, setting him up for better success next year, because they didn't this year. When they threw him into the fire against Buffalo in that 4-game stretch, of course he was going to struggle. But after that bye week, really everything kind of marinated and you had some extra time, and you've seen what he's done after the bye week. He's been winning games, hasn't been turning the ball over, has a positive touchdown to interception ratio, has 2 game-winning drives, right? It's great. So I'm excited to see and I still obviously am excited for this weekend, but even just taking it next year, guys, they have good youth on their roster. They have a good young core on offense. Now you need to add a little bit, of course, and same defensively, and hopefully you can have a good draft. But that's what I mean. This team isn't far from getting to where they want to be. I'm not saying that this team's a year away from being a Super Bowl team, but I'm saying that this team, if they can just, do what they got to do in the offseason, have a strong offseason, set Kenny up for better success going into next year too, and all those type of things, they're right back in the division. So I don't know what else to say on that, but Kenny Pickett's here, man. He's here, and I'm not sitting here labeling him as a Hall of Famer or anything like that. I'm just giving credit where it's due and giving praise where it's due, because there's a lot of people out there. You have your little Twitter trolls. You have your little group of Steeler fans that he needs to throw 300 yards and 4 touchdowns to have a good freaking game. Get out of here. You guys are miserable. It doesn't matter what the team does. The team could win 17 games. You're still going to bitch and complain about it. How about you actually have some excitement about your rookie quarterback, seeing what he's done these last 2 games, seeing what he's done since the bye week? Because that's what you want. You want to see week by week development, week by week growth, and he's been nothing but doing that. He's been winning games. He hasn't been turning the ball over. He's been making smart decisions. He's making the throws that you want to see a quarterback make. He's leading game-winning drives. I don't know what else you want right now. So those type of people are just miserable and irrelevant, and no matter what the Steelers do, it will never make them happy. Never will make them happy. Those are the people that when they win or win a big game, they still bitch and complain about it because they didn't score enough points or because they didn't make enough plays or this and that. They won the freaking game. They made more plays than the other team made. The Steelers defense got ran all over by J.K. Dobbins, but they made really big plays on 3rd down the stretch. They had a couple big sacks. They obviously had the interception to close the game last night. Minkah Fitzpatrick, his 6th interception of the year. He's the best safety in the league. He's been the best safety in the league the last 3 to 4 years. He's going to be another All-Pro. It's awesome having somebody like that back there. But seriously, I have always been supportive of KP, and I was always excited to see his growth, and that's what I mean. Seeing what he's doing now, that's why you don't make a determination on a rookie quarterback in his first year and his first few starts. So I don't know what to tell you, but it was an amazing drive he had last night to win the game. That's what you want from your rookie quarterback. And just from everything, from moving out of the pocket, recognizing pressure, hitting Freiermuth, the pass to Steven Sims, and almost 3 guys around him, completing that. Maybe his best pass of his young career. And the game winner. I mean, it was amazing. It was awesome. It's all you can ask for. So I'm seeing what I want to see from him. I have been seeing what I want to see from him, and I've been excited. I've been optimistic about each and every week when I see him play. And like I said, this offseason, they got to build a little bit more around him, set him up for some better success going into next year. But you already see, folks, you see what he can do. You're already seeing right now a glimpse of what he can do. Fourth quarter, big moments, winning games, making big throws, key throws, being able to get the ball down the field. He's doing that. So at the end of the day, all of us, no matter how this season finishes, we should all be encouraged. We should all be optimistic about the future. The future's bright for this team. And like I said, even in a quote unquote down year like this, they're still fighting for a playoff spot. How many teams in a down year for them, or a team that's been in a down years for years, would kill to have something like this? That's the Steelers for you. That's why they're an A+ organization. They keep fighting. They don't give up. They have a knack for talent. They develop talent. That's something a handful of organizations can't do. So I was just very pleased with the ending last night, and I can't be any more optimistic about them going forward. It's a great thing. Great game from Najee and Jaylen Warren. Kenny did great. Defense really made great stops, great plays down the stretch. And we'll see how next week goes. I would imagine probably the Steelers and the Dolphins and the Bills are probably all going to play at the same time, 1 or 4:30. I would imagine, maybe that's come out already. I would imagine the NFL would want that, so teams aren't just winging it, so they're still playing for something all at the same time. So we'll see how it goes. But wanted to come on here, put my thoughts out there, and say that yes, Kenny Pickett's arrival has come. It has come. And as a Steeler fan, like I said, what you've been seeing week in and week out, and what you've been seeing these last 2 games, that's what you want to see from your rookie quarterback. You should be encouraged by that. You should be optimistic by that. He's winning games. He's not turning the ball over. He's making good decisions. He's making key throws. He's got the clutch gene. He performs in the fourth quarter. He takes adversity on. He's making throws you want to see your rookie quarterback make, and he's continuing to get better each week. And that's what I've been saying for the last several weeks, and that's what all of us are continuing to say. And that's a great thing, and everybody should be happy and encouraged about that. So, but we'll see how this season finishes. The Steelers 8-8 right now. Could finish 9-8 at home against Cleveland next week. Could finish 8-9. Could be eliminated next week. Could be in the playoffs. It's hard to say. Coming down to week 18 in the NFL. And it's going to be a stressful one. It's going to be a heart racer. It's going to be a fun one. But I'm excited to see how this season finishes out. If they get in, if they don't get in, I'm still pleased with how they've played the second half. I'm still pleased with how they still have turned the season around to keep themselves in the race and being able to see that team growth. That's been a great thing. But I'm telling you guys, KP is here. He's here. He's arrived. All Steeler fans I know are thrilled, at least most of them, unless you're one of the miserable trolls or miserable people out there, are very happy with what happened last night, are very encouraged about the future, and we all should be. So I'm going to end it on that, guys. Guys, hit the subscribe, hit the like on here. It just helps out the channel, helps the channel continue to grow. Your guys' support is everything. I love coming on here, talking whatever, interacting with you guys. Leave some comments, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Kenny's performance, what you thought, your excitement about the future, how you think the season might even finish out. I will be on the Unofficial Steelers podcast tomorrow. It will be on Mark Davidson's channel. Check him out at Steelers Nation Australia. Myself, him, and Daniel J over at State of the Steelers channel. Check him out too. We all kind of do a little round table of our own podcast together. Just flip-flopping on each other's channels. So check out Mark's channel tomorrow, Steelers Nation Australia, probably around 6:05 tomorrow. On my post, I will have a reminder, but check that out. I'm also going to be starting a podcast with my friend too, hopefully by the end of the month, and him and I are going to be doing our own thing as well. So, but I'm excited about that. Again, I'm excited about all you guys. I appreciate you all. And like I said, Kenny's here, excited to see his growth, excited to see his development week in, week out, and what he's doing. And all Steeler fans should be excited and encouraged about that. So here we go, Steelers, guys. Great win last night. Great finish. And we will see what happens on Sunday. Everybody, we will see you then. And hold on one second, just so I can end the video here. And also, I wanted to say, I know you guys have not noticed my layout there. I'm actually in the process of making a new one, trying to freshen things up, make things a little new and stuff like that. So, but we will see you guys Tuesday, and I will hopefully put out some content this week. So appreciate your guys' support. We will see you then. I got to wait for the video to end.